switch gears a little bit. One thing that we've been talking about a lot is cause and effect. What caused him to create the monster? What event happened that made an event happen that made an event happen? Can I have 16 volunteers? You don't have to do anything. You have to stand up when I read the card. I think that that's super easy. All you have to do is stand up and read the card when it's time. Yes.
Is the monster running around while Frankenstein is sick?
Yes. Yes, the whole time they've not seen the monster. I need more volunteers, or I'm just going to start randomly handing them out.
Wait, so it's monster's taking care of. Wait, so it's Frankenstein
Yes,
sick
yeah,
or
it
the
is.
monster's sick?
Frankenstein is sick. The monster's running around the whole time Frankenstein, the doctor, is sick.
We don't know where the monster is.
No, we do not.
Monster's
More
killing
cards?
Frankenstein's family.
Why is he still
Alright.
cool about his
Card.
murder?
Thank you for taking the card.
We also
Going
did.
back to the other
We
story.
also
Thank you for
did
taking the card. Thank you
video
for
that
taking the
says
card.
It's all a conspiracy. These books are connected somehow.
Frankenstein cherished her love. So I'm thinking he kills Elizabeth.
Hey, give on to Jordan, give on to Jordan.
Yeah,
Give on to Jordan, give on to Jordan, give on to Jordan, please.
Joe needs one.
Joey needs a card.
You said you'll do it?
Joey
Did
needs
now. Alright, thank you. Alright. So, there's this game called Dominoes. What are the two ways you play dominoes?
Set him up and knock him down.
Set them up and knock them down. What's the other one?
The game.
The game when you're connecting the numbers, right? Right, the game of dominoes. Either way, listen up. That's going to reflect a cause and effect. If you have all these dominoes stacked up like you're going to knock them down, and you take a handful out, is it still going to happen? If you take a big enough chunk out, it's not going to happen, right? It'll happen for a little while, and then it's just going to stop. Nothing's going to happen anymore. So it's kind of the same thing like when you play the actual game of dominoes. If I put something that had the 5 on one side and the 6 on the other, and I line it up, then somebody can play up the 6. Well, what if I didn't play that 5 and 6 piece? What happens if I take that 5 and 6 piece out? You can't play up the 6 anymore, right? So that has to do with the cause and effect. And so we're going to look at Frankenstein in the sense of dominoes. Now, unfortunately, I forgot to write these down for myself. But on the back, I have numbers. So number 1, where are you? Take a look. Number 1, where are you? Number 1, yes. What does yours say? I know, I'm sorry, it's small. The point was that people wouldn't know, but then I forgot to write it down. So, number 1.
Frankenstein has a privileged childhood.
Frankenstein has a privileged childhood. I'd like you to stand up and just stand over here, please. Where's number 2?
Frankenstein has the opportunity to study when he is young.
Frankenstein has opportunities to study when he is young. Where's my number 3?
Frankenstein reads/loves the outdated scientists Agrippa and Heracles.
Right. Stand up, stand over there. I'm going to actually have us kind of angle it so we can go down the center of the room, please. Number 4. Where's 4?
Frankenstein's mom died.
Frankenstein's mom dies. Standing up next. 5.
A depressed Frankenstein goes away to university.
Goes away to university. 6.
Frankenstein meets Frankenstein sends
Right, so he meets one professor who sends him to another. What am I at, 7 now? 7.
Walden supports Frankenstein studying Agrippa and Heracles.
Right, stand up next. So we have, he goes to these 2 professors, and then one professor says, I don't like these guys, send them to a different one. Other professor says, I love them. 8.
Most role opens his lab for Frankenstein's youth.
Thank you. His professor opens up the lab for Frankenstein to use. 9.
Frankenstein decides his creation should be larger than normal.
Between that time that he has a lab and he creates a monster, he decides that they're going to be larger than life, at least 8 feet. What am I on 10?
Frankenstein works so hard his health deteriorates.
Frankenstein works so hard his health deteriorates. So I'm going to have you stand right here, please. 11.
Frankenstein creates his monster.
Frankenstein creates his monster. 12.
Monster so horrifying Frankenstein flees.
Monster so horrifying, Frankenstein flees. What's next?
Monster escapes when Frankenstein is gone.
Monster escapes while Frankenstein is gone. What's my next number? What number is yours?
Oh,
14.
Whoever randomly shows up.
Clarabelle shows up bringing happy news from home. 15.
Frankenstein is so ill. We're running lost things back to health.
Clarabelle's so ill. Alright, he's so ill, Clarabelle has to nurse him back to health. And 16.
Frankenstein fully recovers 2 years later.
2 years later, he's fully recovered. Thank you. Gentlemen, please stand here and here. Thank you. So now we have the sequence of events coming through. Alright, the sequence of events. What happens if let's see, you're no longer here. Frankenstein no longer studies Agrippa. What happens? Is he still going to create the monster? Some says, why do you say probably not?
Because then he doesn't have an interest.
Alright, and you say yes because?
He probably still was interested.
He was probably still interested. Let's see, someone else. Let me see your cards. You're no longer here either. Frankenstein doesn't decide his monster is 8 foot tall. Is he still going to be afraid of the monster?
Might be. Could be.
Don't know. We don't know if he's still going to be afraid of the monster or not. See if I can get one more. Where's the one where he's sick? Who? Somebody, he's sick. He worked so hard, he's sick. Where is it? That's you? Alright, you're no longer here either. So now, he also has this clarity of mind where he's no longer sick. Do you think he'd still create the monster?
Yeah.
Alright, that's another thing to think about. So with my dominoes gone, I have missing pieces. And that is up for debate on whether Frankenstein would still create his monster or not. You can pass your cards this direction and sit down. Thank you. Yay! Pass them down. There's card on the floor. Oh,
Remember the cards.
did you read it? Did you know? We're reading chapter 8 tomorrow. See you then tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
It did.
Go down.
It did.
You told me that.
So,
Oh, it's okay.
alright. So that's what we're looking at now. Listen up. Guys, listen up. So, we now know that there are some pieces that maybe could be taken out and Frankenstein might have created his monster. There are other pieces, however, that we take out and it makes the whole thing fall apart. There's no story. That is what I want you to do tonight for homework. I have it on a front and back line to take up as much space as you need. I just wanted to make sure that we had enough room for people to write. You are going to write about one of the events, either one that we just talked about in class. Listen up. You're going to talk about an event that either we talked about here in class or one that you feel is important. This is my example. No, you may not use it. My example is, if Frankenstein did not have a privileged childhood, he would not have created the monster. Why do you think I say that? Yeah. He wouldn't have gone to university. Poor people don't go to university. Rich people go to university. He never would have had access. Listen up, I'm not quite done. He wouldn't have had access to the library, and he wouldn't have found those scientists. That's part of my first piece, that if he wasn't rich, he wouldn't have created the monster. I want you to look at an event and tell me that if it was taken out, how, listen up, if you were to take an event out, an event of your choice, how it would make him not create the monster. Some of you, I know, enjoy to argue. I would like to say that no, everything is important. And I want you to write about that. Tell me one event that people would say might be able to come out, and tell me why that piece couldn't come out and he still would have created the monster. Are there any questions about what you're doing tonight?